Your Harley is hiding horsepower the factory intentionally left untapped. To meet noise and emissions rules, many models are tuned more conservatively than their engines allow. After years of working on these bikes, I have uncovered 17 proven tricks that can unlock stronger performance, sharper throttle response, and more torque, often without expensive upgrades. Let us get into it. Number 17. The torque cable or throttle-by-wire delay. If you have a 2008 or newer big twin, there is no throttle cable anymore. It is electronic throttle control. You twist the grip and you are not opening a butterfly, you are sending a request to the engine control module, and that computer adds a deliberate delay to smooth out the abrupt on-off snatch these big V-twins are known for. The power is there. The brain is just rationing it. The fix is a throttle controller or a recalibration that sharpens the throttle map. A buddy's Road Glide felt dead off idle until we tightened that map up. Same engine, but now it responds the instant he rolls on. Dealer wants $200 plus to diagnose a throttle that isn't broken. It doesn't add peak horsepower, but it kills the lag and makes the bike feel alive. Now the throttle's awake, but your engine is still breathing through a coffee straw. Just when you think it cannot get better, this appears. Number 16. The stock intake teardown. Ditch the breather box. Harley's factory air cleaner is built to be quiet, not to flow. Behind that round cover is a restrictive backing plate and a tiny intake mouth sized to muffle the induction roar because the motor company is terrified of a noise complaint. Your engine wants air and they're feeding it through a keyhole. The fix is a high-flow air cleaner, a stage 1 intake like a Screamin' Eagle, Arlen Ness, or K&N setup. The catch nobody tells you: the intake alone, without a fuel recalibration, makes the bike run lean and hot. So this trick only counts if it's done with number 2 on this list. Done right, a stage 1 intake on a Milwaukee 8 is worth real, measurable airflow. Quick favor, if you're getting value out of this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest. Air's flowing now, but the exhaust side is still corked tighter than the intake. If that one made sense, this next one reframes everything. Number 15. The cat delete and the head pipe restriction. Look under your bike. On most modern Harleys, there's a catalytic converter buried in the head pipe or the collector, and a crossover pipe pinched down to meet emissions. That's a wall your exhaust gas has to shove through. The forbidden trick is a true performance exhaust, not just slip-on mufflers, but headers or a system that opens the head pipe and removes the cat restriction. Here's the mistake guys make. They bolt on loud slip-ons, gain noise, and lose low-end torque because the muffler's too open with no back pressure tuning. Slip-ons alone are mostly sound. The real gain is a full head pipe back system matched to your cam and tune. A guy with a Street Glide swapped slip-ons only and lost grunt off the line. We put a proper 2 into 1 on it and the mid-range came alive. Now you're breathing in and out, but your fuel map still thinks it's bone stock. And here's where things start to feel serious. Number 14. The fuel tuner or power vision flash. This is the piece that ties the whole bike together, and it's the one Harley charges the most to lock down. Your stock engine control module is calibrated to run lean for emissions, so lean these motors run that they get hot enough to cook your right thigh in traffic. Once you've touched the intake or exhaust, the factory map is wrong and the bike runs leaner still. The fix is a tuner, a power vision, a DynoJet power commander, or a full dyno tune. It rewrites the air-fuel ratio, advances timing where the engine can take it, and raises the rev limiter. This single piece is what turns intake and exhaust from sounds cool into actually makes power. A dealer stage 1 calibration runs you a few hundred. A self-tuner pays for itself across builds and moves to your next bike. This is the one mod that makes every other airflow mod legitimate. Now the fueling's right, but your motor is still wrapped in a heat blanket of its own making. And now the pattern becomes a lot clearer. Number 13. Fix the heat, rejet the idle, and adjust the EITMS and fan logic. Air-cooled and oil-cooled Harleys soak heat, and the factory's lean idle map makes it worse. On twin cam and M8 baggers, there's a parked heat management system, EITMS, the rear cylinder shutoff that kills the back jug at idle to save your leg. Most riders don't know it's adjustable, or that a good tune can manage cylinder temperature far better than the crude factory cutout. The real trick is a proper tune fattens the idle and cruise mixture, which drops cylinder head temperature meaningfully, and riders routinely see 20 to 30 degree drops in stop-and-go heat after a good calibration. Cooler heads mean the engine control module stops yanking timing to fight knock, and that's free, recovered power. Cheaper than melting a piston in summer traffic. The motor's cooler now, but it's still fighting itself on every compression stroke. But the next entry changes the way you see this completely. Number 12, the high compression and squish band wake-up, proper headwork. Stock Harley combustion chambers and squish clearances are set conservative to survive bad gas and zero maintenance. The forbidden move on a torque build is milling the heads or running thinner head gaskets to tighten the squish band and bump compression. Tightening squish to spec speeds up the burn, fights knock, and adds torque everywhere without adding a single cubic centimeter. This is real engine work, not a bolt-on, but it's the difference between a bike that's loud and a bike that pulls. Pair it with the right octane and tune, skip the cheap, high-comp shortcuts, and have a head shop measure your actual squish. The chamber's optimized, but the cam in there was chosen for emissions, not for you. But the next example is where most people get caught off guard. Number 11, the cam swap, the single biggest torque lever. The factory camshaft is the most detuned part on your engine. Harley picks a mild grind that idles smooth, passes noise, and makes its power in a narrow band. A bolt-in cam, a 475 style or a torque monster grind matched to your compression is the biggest single jump in usable power you can make on a big twin short of a big bore. On a twin cam, this is also your window to delete the weak spring-loaded cam chain tensioners and convert to a gear drive or hydraulic tensioner setup so they never grenade. Match the cam to your compression and exhaust, or you'll make less power, not more. This is the heart of a Stage 2 build. The cam's breathing right, but you're still spinning more reciprocating mass than you need to. If that stood out, this one will stand out even more. Number 10. The lightweight clutch and compensator, lighter rotating mass. Harley's stock compensator and clutch assembly are heavy, and on twin cams, the factory compensator is a known failure point that also robs response. Lightening the rotating and reciprocating mass, a lighter compensator and a better clutch pack lets the engine spin up faster and react quicker to the throttle. It's the unsprung weight principle applied inside the primary. Less mass to accelerate means quicker revs and crisper throttle pickup. Plus, you delete a part that likes to fail loudly around 30,000 miles. You don't make peak horsepower here. You make the bike feel faster, which on a heavy V-twin is half the battle. The engine spins up quicker now, but your primary and transmission are dragging through molasses. And this is where the list starts to hit differently. Number 9. Synthetic in all 3 holes, and stop running one oil for everything. Many Harley riders use the same oil in the engine, primary, and transmission simply because it's convenient, but each component has different lubrication needs. The engine handles combustion heat, the primary manages the clutch and chain, and the transmission endures extreme gear pressure. Using a high-quality full synthetic engine oil, along with the correct specification fluids for the primary and transmission reduces friction where it matters most, cutting parasitic power losses as energy moves through the drivetrain. You're not creating extra horsepower, you're recovering the power that mechanical resistance was stealing. Premium synthetic lubricants also resist heat better, maintain viscosity longer, improve cold start protection, and provide stronger wear resistance over time. The benefits are immediately noticeable: smoother shifting, easier neutral selection at stoplights, cooler primary temperatures, reduced clutch chatter, and improved drivetrain longevity. The extra cost of premium fluids is insignificant compared to rebuilding a worn transmission or replacing damaged drivetrain components. With friction losses minimized, your Harley delivers more of the power it already produces while operating more efficiently and reliably. Friction's handled, but your spark is still crawling to the plugs through aging, corroded factory ground connections. But the next entry adds a completely new layer to this. Number 8. The ground and charging upgrade, and ditch the lazy plug wires. Harley's factory grounds and the thin charging wiring corrode, especially on a bike that lives in rain and road salt. Voltage drop at the coil means a weaker spark and a less complete burn. Upgrading the main ground straps and running quality low-resistance plug wires gives the coil a clean path and a hotter, fatter spark. On older carbureted and early EFI bikes, this smooths a lumpy idle and sharpens throttle response noticeably. It's cheap, it's an afternoon, and it fixes the slow electrical death every high-mileage Harley suffers. Give your spark a highway, not a rusty dirt road. The spark's hot now, but your timing's still set for 87 octane and survival. If that already surprised you, this one pushes it further. Number 7. Run the octane the motor actually wants, and let the tune use it. Stock Harleys are calibrated to survive on a wide range of fuel qualities, from premium to the lowest octane available at rural gas stations. To make that possible, the factory uses conservative ignition timing that protects the engine from knock under almost any condition. That strategy improves reliability, but it also leaves performance on the table because the engine isn't operating at its most efficient timing. If your Harley has a high-quality tune, higher compression pistons, performance cams, or other engine upgrades, premium fuel can unlock additional power, but only if the calibration is designed to take advantage of it. Higher octane fuel resists detonation, allowing the tuner to safely advance ignition timing. When combustion occurs closer to the ideal point in the power stroke, the engine produces more torque, responds more crisply to the throttle, and often runs smoother under heavy load. The key mistake many riders make is assuming premium fuel alone creates horsepower. It doesn't. Pouring expensive fuel into a completely stock motorcycle with a conservative factory map usually delivers little to no noticeable performance gain because the ignition timing remains unchanged. Likewise, filling the tank with race fuel on an engine that isn't tuned for it simply wastes money without producing meaningful results. Instead, match the fuel to the engine's build and calibration. A properly tuned motorcycle running the fuel it was designed for delivers the best combination of power, efficiency, and reliability. Once the ignition timing is optimized, the engine is making the most of every combustion event. Now it's time to focus on another performance killer, the unnecessary weight Harley bolts onto many of its touring models. And just when it feels predictable, this entry flips the script. Number 6. The weight diet, unsprung and dead weight. A Harley bagger is built for long-distance comfort and carrying heavy loads, but most riders never use anywhere near its full cargo capacity. That means you're hauling extra weight every mile without getting any benefit from it. Heavy stock wheels, oversized seat pans, bulky crash bars, unnecessary luggage racks, passenger backrests, and decorative chrome accessories all add pounds that slow acceleration, increase braking distances, and make the bike feel less responsive in corners. The biggest improvement comes from reducing rotating weight. Stock cast wheels are durable, but they're also heavy. Swapping to lighter forged or performance wheels removes unsprung, rotating mass, which has a much greater effect on performance than removing the same amount of weight from the frame. Every pound taken off the wheels helps the engine spin them up faster, allows the brakes to slow them more easily, and lets the suspension react quicker to bumps in the road. Then take a hard look at everything bolted onto the motorcycle. If you never ride two up, consider removing the passenger backrest. If the tour pack stays empty or only comes out once a year, take it off for everyday riding. Large luggage racks, decorative trim, and other accessories may look good, but every unnecessary pound affects how the bike accelerates, handles, and stops. The result is a Harley that feels noticeably more eager without touching the engine. It accelerates harder, changes direction with less effort, brakes with more confidence, and feels lighter in every situation. You've already found more horsepower. Now make sure the bike can actually use it. But the next example might shock you. Number 5. The brake bed in and steel lines. Harley's stock rubber brake lines balloon under pressure and the pads come improperly bedded from the crate, which is why so many riders complain their Harley won't stop. 2 fixes. First, stainless steel braided lines kill the spongy swell and give you a firm lever. Second, bed the pads properly. Get them up to temperature with repeated hard slowdowns from speed without coming to a full stop to lay an even transfer layer on the rotor. Do it on an empty road safely. The difference is night and day, firm lever, immediate bite. You didn't buy bigger brakes, you finished the job the factory rushed. The bike stops now. Let's talk about the air conditioning of Harley's accessory drag. But here comes the twist. Number 4. Kill the parasitic drag, charging load and accessory draw. Every accessory bolted to a Harley pulls on the engine. The alternator under heavy electrical load, loaded audio on a bagger, heated gear all running at once. Under hard acceleration, that draw is real horsepower bleeding off through the charging system. The trick is awareness and wiring. A healthy, properly sized charging system and clean wiring so the alternator isn't fighting corroded connections and not running every electrical load wide open when you're trying to launch. On a loaded touring bike, cleaning up the electrical draw frees up grunt you didn't know you were losing. It's the poor man's more power. Stop wasting what you make. Accessories handled, but the bike's still geared to cruise, not to launch. Now things start to change. Number 3. The final drive gearing change. The cheapest more power there is. This is the trick that adds 0 engine horsepower and transforms the bike anyway. Harley gears its baggers tall for relaxed highway revolutions per minute and fuel economy, which makes them feel lazy off the line. Swapping the front pulley or rear sprocket for a tooth or two of shorter gearing multiplies torque at the wheel everywhere you ride. The bike launches harder, pulls out of corners, stronger, and feels like you found 10 horsepower, because mechanically, at the wheel, you did. The trade is slightly higher cruising revolutions per minute, which a good tune and a final drive choice can balance. It is bolt-on acceleration without touching the motor. Gearing's right, but your transmission is still shifting, and your cam timing is still factory cautious. And there is a way to wake the whole Valvetrain. And then this happens. Number 2. Adjustable push rods and a proper Valvetrain setup. On these engines, the Valvetrain geometry and lifter setup the factory ships is built for quiet and for the assembly line, not for performance. Adjustable push rods let you set lifter preload precisely, which a stock solid push rod and a hydraulic lifter can't dial in, and they let you service the top end without splitting the motor. Done with the cam swap, a dialed Valvetrain holds tighter lash, survives higher RPM, and lets the engine actually use the cam you paid for. Get the preload wrong and you'll tick or bend a push rod, so this is measure twice work. It's the unglamorous step that makes a Stage 2 build reliable instead of a grenade. Everything's mechanically awake now. All that's left is to overwrite the brain that's been holding it all back. Now, watch what happens next. Number 1. The full Stage 4 engine control module tune. Stop asking the factory for permission. This is the forbidden fruit, and it's why Harley locks the engine control module down hard. Every trick above, intake, exhaust, cam, compression, gearing, is only as good as the map running the engine. A full dyno tune, or a 255-pin stage calibration on a Milwaukee 8, rewrites fueling, advances timing into the range your build can handle, raises the rev limiter, manages your cylinder heat, and ties intake, cam, and exhaust into one coherent power band. A bike that gained nothing from random bolt-ons can jump a huge margin once a real tune ties it all together. No new metal, just software finally telling the truth about what the engine can do. The motor company detunes for bad gas, for 100,000 trouble-free miles, and to protect the gap between your model and the CVO. A tune erases that gap. Buy the tuner or pay a dyno shop. It's the best horsepower per dollar on the whole bike, provided you maintain it, good synthetic, premium fuel, and the discipline to not abuse it cold. 3 mistakes that kill Harleys. These tricks work. Done wrong, they'll put you on the side of the road. Mistake 1. Bolting on intake and exhaust without a tune. You'll run lean, run hot, and burn an exhaust valve. Air mods require fueling. Mistake 2. Cheap, loud slip-ons with no tuning. You gain noise and lose low-end torque, the opposite of what you wanted. Mistake 3. Skipping the twin cam tensioner fix during a cam swap. If you're already in there, convert it. Those plastic shoes wear out and dump debris through your engine. Do it once. Do it right. Enjoyed the journey from start to finish? Subscribe and catch the next one.